Hi, I'm Roger Blohm, Executive Vice President with Telarus, and we're here coming to you from Studio 19 at Telarus headquarters in Sandy, Utah. We're thrilled to welcome Kevin Thomsen, the head of Master Agents from Zoom, joining us today for this Behind the Desk segment. Kevin, why don't you say hi to the partner community out there?
Hello, Telarus partner community. Thanks for having me, Roger, and Team Telarus. Excited to be here and on Zoom.
Hey, and on Zoom. This is being recorded on Zoom. We're thrilled with that. Kevin, thank you so much for joining us. We're thrilled here. Our partners are watching these segments, trying to understand some of the nuances, and obviously they've heard the name Zoom. So let's just jump into it. Zoom, everybody knows, went from 10 million users to 200 million users in 30 days last spring. It's been on a rocket ride that everybody's watching and wondering, and I think even my grandmother knows how to run a Zoom call for some of her classes. But the community's trying to understand the channel and how they fit into it and how they grow that. So why don't we just answer some of those questions right out of the gate? Tell us about your partner program and how it works.
Yeah. So again, to the partner community, thank you so much. And yeah, we launched as COVID came rip-roaring to the States. And we call it internally Zoom Boom, where we had to scale like never before. Every part of the business was impacted. Thankfully, the network and the most important item, which is the product, remained stable. But there was definitely some challenges. And if I only have a few minutes of the partner community's time right now, I just want to address one thing. We hear you, we heard you, and we've made some significant changes to our channel program. And I'm happy to roll and release this on Roger's video session here. One, our channel perception was, hey, Zoom needs some maturity, not paying enough, very hard to deal with. I want to roll out to the partner community here. We are encouraging you to sell Zoom Phone into our active billing base. There is a unique value proposition here that we have a huge customer billing segment that is wildly happy on our meetings platform. But we understand that we need you, the consultant, the Telarus sub-agent, to sell voice. And we are willing to not only pay for that, but encourage you by rolling out now that you have the ability to sell into our meeting space, to our happy customer billing base, Zoom Phone as fast as you can, and we highly encourage you. So the approval process has changed. If you click Zoom Phone on your deal registration, no more auto denial, which I hope now all of you from a perception standpoint can see just how channel friendly Zoom is from the top down. And that is a significant rollout that we've just done this month. And we look forward to seeing some of the opportunities from you.
So Kevin, I want to make sure the whole community understands those two pieces. So when we hear Zoom, sometimes we just think what everybody knows is Zoom, which is really the meeting stuff, the collaboration. But as you add in the Zoom Phone, I can go in as a partner and then sell into that base, which is not restricted for me. So I'm going to be able to go sell them that additional technology, that additional service. That's exciting.
Yeah, it's huge. And so when you look at Zoom Phone, it's the logical progression, right? You have your meetings, your chat. The next is to really illuminate that phone icon on our Zoom client. And when you look at our offering as far as around contact center, so we integrate with the top 5 players in the space. You got Genesys, NICE, TalkDesk, Twilio, and Five9. So we're agnostic there. So when and I know that you do a ton here at Telarus for around contact center, having Zoom as your default UCaaS back platform, really good idea. The global coverage, right? We're 42 countries native PSTN and growing. The feature list is already on par with the usual suspects. But I think the biggest item is the cost transparency. Since it's a software play and we're not a LEC, we don't pass on regulatory and E911 fees to the client. So when they are truly looking at taxes, tag, title in that matrix, we're always going to be the outcome that produces the greatest return, just given how we're structured as an organization, which is a little nugget for the community to help sell more Zoom Phone.
Yeah, and you mentioned you launched it at the beginning of the pandemic. The channel program is what you were referring to, and so tell us a little
Correct.
bit about you joined to run this channel program. So the channel friendliness has been a major change as you've understood that. You mentioned the payment, so let's clarify on what people are getting paid on Zoom and some of the percentages are in line with those other competitors, right?
Right. Yeah. So, we went to market with a very select group of masters, Telarus being one of the great ones that we went to market with here. And I would say I had enough tomatoes thrown at me on comp that we have changed our SPIF program and really have made it easier to close that delta when you're looking at comp across the board. So before we had a restriction where it only had to be an annual prepaid to even qualify for a SPIF. We've eliminated that. So the earning potential is all the way up to 5x based on a 3-year deal and annual prepay. But if no annual prepay and it's still a 3-year deal, it's 3x, 2-year deal, it's 2x, 1-year deal, it's 1x. So we see the value that this partner community has, and we understand that to remain competitive, you got to pay. And as we look at the rapid growth and scale and the journey that we'll be on for years to come, I think comp will only become more competitive until we are leading in that category alongside with just a incredible product set. So hopefully that clarifies any questions on comp. That we're willing to pay for your help in driving as much Zoom Phone as possible to that happy base, and then of course your book of new logos as well.
Well, that's incredible that we can sell. Again, as a partner community, we have your support. We have competitive comp. We've got spiffs that work. You've invested a lot in that channel program, and it's paying off. We've seen some really cool deals out there. We're going through some weird times, but we've seen some great successes. Any of those examples you might want to share with us of maybe the size and scope of some of these incredible deals we've been closing?
Yeah, well, we've done a 10,000 user deal with Telarus that needed to be FedRAMP, which was the entire stack. So video, voice, chat, all baked into one. That's probably going to scale up to 25,000 users very quickly. The adoption that they've already seen as far as a rollout's concerned, they're pretty much in 90 days, close to 10,000 users up and running. Wow. Which is just staggering with how we can track and drive these types of outcomes. As a whole, on the market, ExxonMobil, wall to wall, ServiceNow, the entire stack, and Nike. Some of the logos are incredible, and I think if you're a partner here looking to, hey, how do I break through into the Global 2000? To really, really get these enterprise big fish in the boat. Leading with Zoom is definitely an avenue to get there. And if you can land it, your pull through of other applications that Telarus has under their portfolio is something to be noted. We're now seeing that this is not a fad. This is a new way of business, whether it be hybrid or full remote workforce. The integrations that we have with not only other applications, but these are board driven decisions now that we need to go full blown and have a stable communications platform. And we love the poker hand that we offer here at Zoom, just given the viral nature that we've gone and it just works. So we couldn't be more enthusiastic for the partner community to really embrace the value proposition and really drive some of these new logos that before were just very adverse to the cloud. I think the advantage of the cloud is I don't think is a discussion point anymore. It's who's the best player that can deliver the outcomes that we want. And what we're seeing is, and what the analysts are saying is, for every $1 of voice, for video, there's $5 of voice on the back end. And as we're looking this industry is quickly morphing to a video first unified communications. We are, it's at that sector and at that level, it's really Teams versus Zoom. And we're doing very, very well in that category.
Well, yeah, you've gotten a lot of press, a lot of attention. as it's come through. I'm curious, what are and you can tell me about your private secret meetings at Zoom or any insider information you want to give me. But what are the trends that you guys are convinced will survive longer term than perhaps this current crisis we're in? What are the industry trends that partners should be paying attention to, whether it's work at home or when do we come back, all those kind of things? What are you guys noticing as critical drivers?
All right, yeah, I would say right out of the gate, it's that video first communication. So we're seeing video usage, which is VoIP based, skyrocket, which means there's an opportunity for the telephony piece, whether it's cost consolidation or to actually truly get to a single platform. So a lot of the who's who say, yeah, we own the stack, but do they own is it a one unified architecture? And I think that's a core difference that for partners to really explore. Utilization of video and VoIP skyrocketing. Another trend is around EDU. So you see every parent wants their kid to go back to school. How, based on what state you are in and what jurisdiction, some are, the hybrid model, but or fully at home or fully in. I think having the ability and using that model to everyday business, Zoom rooms, Zoom at home devices, us catering to, and you're going to see version updates after Zoomtopia here later in October, where we've doubled down on that. This is a trend that's only going to need to evolve. Some of the breakout rooms, some of the assets that we are now going to be able to launch to help make this virtual world that much more intimate, to the point where, like, on Squawk Box, our CEO Eric Yuan was like, one day you're going to be able to smell coffee with the other person across the screen together. I mean, this is where this entire industry is going. I think that's far away, but when you're looking at the full opportunity, it really goes down to video is now component number one. What are you doing with the telephony phone system? I think that there's an opportunity to consolidate under one application. And then, of course, as you're looking at hybrid versus remote, what's that look like? And then the applications that you can integrate around, whether it be productivity apps or other ones that I think as an emerging trend is going to get bigger and bigger.
So what you're telling me is you're not going to come see me in person and buy me a bourbon for quite some time, but we can smell
Roger.
it. We could smell it together.
Yeah, we could smell it and taste it, and then I could not come and see you for a nice bev or two.
Yeah, we're gonna have to make that happen. So you see people staying at home working. Do you think are companies going to come back at all? What do you think the work at home trend is going to look like?
I think it's forever changed. Again, with what I was saying earlier about just it's being board mandated that you have a stable communications platform, and I think people are seeing how easy it is to work from home and still remain productive. Eventually, what we all hope that normalcy comes back to. I think that the hybrid model we're seeing a lot with like some of the major banking institutions where you have key employees back in the office, but you have the ability to still open up your recruiting efforts for that remote employee. That all still remains on net. So yes, Zoom rooms, Zoom, actually the applications, and just in general, I truly believe that the workforce is forever changed. I think in a positive way. It's still early to see just what that outcome looks like, but with the application, you have the flexibility.
That's true. As a partner trying to figure out when I bring Zoom in, are there size restrictions? Is there you mentioned the Fortune 2000. Do you want us thinking about big customers? I know you do, but is there other sizes we should be focused on, or maybe other verticals that we should be worried about?
Right. So we do very well in each segment of, we have over 75,000 employees that are just catering to 10,000 user employee companies via LinkedIn and more. But we also handle our online business of the ones and twos is insane. So I would say the market adoption, again, given the viral nature and becoming quote unquote, we've been called a verb. I think we can touch all sectors of the business. Verticals that we do incredibly well in, education, as you guys or probably some of your children are on our platform. Um, Finance is incredible. Healthcare, and then we are FedRAMP for government. So
So
we have
no problems with regulatory compliance, all those things. Perfectly fine. If I've got those kind of customers, we're good to bring you into those opportunities.
yeah, and we've really beefed up, given that a little bit of some thought around security has been a maniacal focus of our founder Eric Yuan and team, and we now lead with how secure the platform is.
That's incredible. That's great. You did
Yeah.
mention, hey, when you become a verb, it's either a good thing or a bad thing. I think
Right.
Zoom is a verb. It's an interesting way to look at it, but it's become one of those buzzwords that people understand what we're talking about. So that's incredible. What's you mentioned some updates from Zoomtopia, which is incredible. Give me a tidbit. Give me a teaser on why I should show up and pay attention to Zoomtopia.
Well, like every analyst from our last earnings call, which we've had back-to-back earnings calls that were record-breaking for the SaaS industry. Everyone's asking, how do you compete with Teams? What's your strategy with Slack? Where are you guys going from here? How could you possibly back up those two revenue-producing quarters? All of that's going to be answered at Zoomtopia from our founder. We have strategic roadmaps. We're going to have new product rollouts. We're going to have new verticals that you guys can have breakout rooms. So if you are a partner that focuses on big banking or healthcare, you're going to be able to talk to the brightest minds in that space around trends and keywords to just better yourself. We're going to have customers, case studies. I mean, it's going to be a rock star virtual platform event. And then we also have a partner series as well called Partner Connect later on in November. So it's just over educating on everything Zoom. Now that we've been consistent as the #1 app in the App Store for quite some time. We understand that there's now more demand than ever before for us to continue to get better. And as you know, Roger, and I've heard you say this before, what got you here isn't going to get you to where you want to go in the future. And it's really, what have you done for me lately? And we understand that as Zoom, that people are really leaning on us in some aspects, to drive the global economy. I mean, we have that much reach. So we're just now looking to extend the olive branch to the partner community to really help us evangelize the Zoom Phone story, and try us on for size. We will not disappoint. I can definitely promise you that.
That's great. You mentioned Teams a few times, so let's just make sure we've covered that in depth. I know there's a lot of conversation about Teams. Teams is doing a good job. I think they're out there and people are aware of them. What would you advise, besides going to Zoomtopia and learning the differences? What is my conversation with my customer when they bring it up?
Yeah. So to your point, there's a lot of folks that we're seeing it every day. Hey, we have direct routing with Teams, and that's definitely an avenue, where a company probably has Teams for free and they want to bolt on to it. I leave you at this. I do think that Zoom should be part of that conversation, just so that you have strawberry and chocolate for the customer to read. So out of the gate, we'd love the opportunity to bid. And when you really peel the onion back, there are significant differences in the customer journey and what they want to get to. Microsoft has 80 product lines that they manage under the Microsoft umbrella, and they're really, really good, and they're big enough to really do whatever they want. Zoom has one core competency, and it's collaboration, video, communications. So 1 versus 80, and we're founder driven, and that's a big deal when you're looking at strategic decisions. So I would ask if you guys want to inquire more about the heads up poker game between Teams and Zoom, to reach out to your channel manager, and we'll do a deep dive. But it's a great product, and I think customers are really have the opportunity to have some incredible products to evaluate, and hopefully, of course, the ball bounces our way here at Zoom.
Well, it's bounced that your way plenty of times recently. So
Yeah.
as we get ready to wrap up, I think it's important to go back to one key point you made is you went through some hard decisions to figure out how to launch in the channel. And the Telarus relationship was important to you. Why don't you talk to me about how that decision was made and why partners should care about that?
Yeah, so I mean, on the Telarus front, Scott Forbush, we have a lot to thank, and obviously you, Roger, on getting Zoom into the portfolio. And we went to market with, the best of the best, and Telarus has been incredible in that capacity. A lot went into this agreement, and the crazy thing that's changed for us is, everything's changed for us as a company. Our plan 6 months ago got blown to pieces. The biggest leadership challenge that we have is the rapid scale. How do we scale? How do we scale? How do we scale? Because of still the incredible demand. How do we change perception? Before it was, damn it, man, like I registered all these deals. There was such a buzz and I got denied on all of them. Zoom's not ready. Well, Zoom 2.0, we're ready for you. And we have the mechanisms in place to handle not only the volume, but your partner experience. We have, and I'll leave on this, every single employee that enters into Zoom, you have one core mission every day you wake up. It's customer happiness. As long as the customers can be wildly happy, everything else solves itself. I have a two-pronged approach. It's customer happiness and now partner happiness. And the partners weren't happy, but you guys should be happy hearing this, that from a channel perception from top down, Zoom is asking for your help to go drive UC, Zoom Phone, and we're not going to impede that in your way for your customers that are already very happy on the meetings platform.
Well, you know what, to wrap up, it sounds like I've got an incredible product that's on a rocket ride. I've got a channel program that's been revamped to address concerns and needs. And I have a support mechanism in Telarus and Zoom partnership that really lets me take it to a new level. And the best is yet to come. Did I summarize that? And is there anything I missed as we close out? Kevin, besides the fact you do owe me a bourbon or two.
Yes, I do. And I can't wait for that. No, you nailed it. And for our friends over at Telarus, we couldn't be more thankful. The training resources that you guys offer for your partner community is, it's an industry best. And we're here to serve. We know that we're new, and some of the partners are still sniffing out, hey, is Zoom for real on this channel? Unequivocally, we can say yes, and we can only do that by proving it.
Well, thank you, Kevin. With that, we'll wrap up. This has been a Behind the Desk segment from Telarus Studio 19 with Kevin Thomsen, Head of Master Agents at Zoom. We're thrilled to have this segment. We appreciate you as a community. Make sure you enjoy the race to the summit, and thank you for being part of our family. Stay safe out there until we can see you again. Thank you.